Race fans, welcome to Lake Lucas at Lucas Oil Speedway. We are in Wheatland, Missouri, and we are excited because we're getting ready to kick off the 2013 United States F1 Powerboat North American Championships, and it's presented by Budweiser. And I got to tell you, I'm too excited. I'm Ed Foxmeyer, but my excitement is right here next to me. This guy here, Bill Seabold, he's won over 900 races. He's got 69 world and national titles. Inducted in the Motorsport Speedway Hall of Fame up in Detroit '99, Missouri Hall of Fame last year. Bill, it's good to see you and glad to have you with us.
Well, thank you, Ed, and it's fun to be here, and it's great to see the new season get started, and you sure make me sound good.
Oh,
I don't know if I was ever that good, but it was, it was a hobby that turned full-time, and I just love to race.
I tell you what, you want some interesting reading, you just Google his name, Bill Seabold. You're going to find some stuff to read about it. Unbelievable sportsman, this guy, on the track, unbeatable, off the track, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. But we're here for something else. This is the new season for 2013 for those F1 boats. Well, we're really excited to have you along, and we're going to have some great footage for you and some great racing from, well, Lucas Oil Speedway. Welcome back. We're at Lake Lucas at Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri, and we are here for the final race today. It's the Formula One final. The North American Championship points for the first race of the season will be handed out after this race. 30-lap event, and the boats are lined up along the shore, and we're getting ready for the start here of what's going to be a pretty exciting race. Now, alongside me, I'm Ed Fox, but alongside me is Bill Seabold. Now, he contends to think this is going to be determined by lap traffic, and there is going to be, some 15 boats out there.
Well, it'll be the most boats that ever raced on Lake Lucas, that's for sure. But yeah, 15 entries in there, and unfortunately, this is a restart. They started, and Tim and Terry Rinker jumped out in the first two positions, and then Tyler Welch broke down right after he left the start dock, so he was right in the middle of the straightaway, and that's a dangerous situation, so they stopped it, especially here, because it's 400 foot wide and 4,000 foot long, so there just isn't a lot of room out there.
So we're going to get those 30 laps in here in just a few moments. We're glad that you joined us for this broadcast here on Lake TV. And don't forget to check out our website, mylaketv.com. We're at Lucas Lake at Lucas Oil Speedway. What a beautiful facility. And I think everybody that's pulled into town for this, and from a lot of them for the first time, have enjoyed themselves.
I think they all have. It is a beautiful facility, and it's set up so good for boat racing. That's what it was built for. So it's set up perfect.
Yeah, and we're getting ready to get that restart here in just a few short moments. Will they reshoot the red flare to do it all over again?
I believe they will, but I'm not sure. We'll just have to keep an eye on the flagman. You watch for that, and I will watch for the flare.
Is that the way it is done in all of the Formula One races? It's the red flare that starts that minute clock?
Yes.
Okay. And
yes, it is.
Then when we get down to the 20-second mark, the green
there
flare.
It is. Red flare.
Okay, so
1 minute.
And that could be less than a minute because it comes down to 20 seconds. In that last 20 seconds, the flagman can decide to drop the flag right away or hold off a few seconds, but he's got 20 seconds to make that decision. And when it happens, the boats will start their engines from the shore and take off at a dead start and 30 laps ahead of them. And this is going to be some exciting racing, and you're seeing it right here on Lake TV. Bill Seabold, Ed Foxmeyer with you. Hold on to your seats. Sit back and wait. It's just about to happen here, and we had a great start a while ago, but this is the restart, and I believe we're going to see a full 30 laps here. And look for the number 16 and the number 10, two of the fastest boats this whole weekend.
Flags up, Ed. There it is.
It's
a quick up and down. Tim got off to a good start. Terry got a little better start this time. Still going to be close. Chris Fairchild on the outside. Brian Vinton right on Chris Fairchild's hip.
All the boats on the course. And we see Tyler Welch is back out there as well, so he's got his problem fixed, at least for this particular moment. In the lead, that is none other than Tim Seabold in the lead all weekend long in the number 16. Terry Rinker, last year's champion, right behind him in that yellow number 10, followed by Fairchild in the 62. And Vinton in the 17. Shepard in the 5th position. Right now, Tim Seabold seems to be stretching that lead out, but we're going to see, Bill was saying earlier, once you get into that lap traffic, that's where things get a little dicey.
Yeah, you'll see that. And unfortunately, every time you lap one guy, the next guy is faster than the guy you just lapped. So the higher you go up the ladder, the harder they are to lap.
Your leader is Tim Seabold in the number 16, followed by Rinker in that 10. Terry Rinker in that yellow number 10 has had a fast boat all weekend long, and he is going to give it all he can to catch up with Tim Seabold. Right behind Rinker in that 62 boat, that's Fairchild. And Fairchild finished number 3 last year in the standings, so he knows what he's doing out there, and he's being challenged right now by Brian Vinton I believe out of Canada, isn't it?
Yes, he is, out of Canada, and I'll tell you what, he's giving Chris Fairchild all he wants, and Brian got around him. Brian is now in the 3rd position, and there goes Jeff Shepard on the inside, right on Brian's hip. So Chris Fairchild obviously has a problem.
Yes, he must have a problem because he's actually had a pretty good weekend.
Slowing way down, slowing way down.
And look who's running side by side.
Jose Madonna.
And Carlos Madonna, again, challenging each other out there as the race continues. We're early in the stages of this race, a 30-lap event. Your leader is Tim Seabold, NGK Spark Plug sponsor number 16, followed by Terry Rinker in the yellow number 10, and they're dealing with lap traffic now, Bill.
Yes, they are, and I said 2nd or 3rd lap, they're going to be lapping them, and they've already been doing that. So, you know, it's Tim's got a clear shot, and it looks like he's got enough speed maybe to pick his holes very carefully.
Brian Vinton in that 3rd position in the red 17, followed by the red number 38 of Jeff Shepard, and into the 62. Falling back from the start of the race is Fairchild. He's still got plenty of time, though, to reel them all back in.
Yeah, he has now. He looks like he's back up to speed now, Ed. I don't know what happened there. Sometimes these things get almost something like a vapor lock, and, you know, you might have stumbled and took a slug of air, and these fuel pumps don't pick up as quick as they should.
Well, we remain green, and the race looks pretty good and pretty fast at this time. They're turning some pretty quick speeds, Bill.
Yes, they are. They're probably averaging about 105, 110 miles an hour average.
And in those corners, when they take them, they literally turn left.
Now look here what I told you. Remember what I told you about lap traffic?
And look at
Tim
Tim
just went right between 2 of them.
Tim looks like he's got a ride behind him or under him that has been solid all weekend long, and this is a good start to his season.
Boy, it sure is. Last year we struggled a little. You know, Tim hasn't run but 2 races a year. 2 years ago he never ran 1 race, so sometimes you know you got to get back in the groove of things, and hopefully he's got a long way to go. Maybe he'll get it. Maybe he'll do it.
Here's your running order: the 16, your leader, followed by the number 10 of Rinker. Then we've got 3rd place belonging to Brian Vinton, who's out of Canada. Shepard's in the 4th position in the red 38, and 5th place right now is the 62 of Fairchild. That's your top 5 here in this 30-lap final for the North American Championships. The first points in the season.
Coming back up again.
Fairchild is slowly reeling in Shepard in that red 38. Plenty of time to do so. Over 20 laps left.
Oh, yes. Tim certainly has that NGK boat dialed in, but so does Terry. Look at there. Terry's actually closed up a little on Tim. And what did I tell you about that lap traffic? If you have to hesitate and thinking about the hole you're going through, the guy behind you is going to close up on you.
No change in the order of the top 5 right now, though it does look like Terry Rinker gained a little bit that last lap on Tim Seabold. Early in the race, plenty could happen, and we're glad you're here along for the action here on Lake TV. Tim Seabold, your leader in the red number 16, red and black 16, followed by the number 10, the yellow, from Terry Rinker, from the AMSOIL sponsor Terry Rinker boat. That's a beautiful boat.
You know, and every time a guy is hard to lap for Tim, you got to remember Terry's got to lap that same guy, and it doesn't get any easier for Terry because he's the 2nd spot.
Top 5, no change in the top 5, though still thinking Fairchild is slowly reeling in that number 38 of Shepard in that 4th position. Your leader, though, is taking him up, clicking him off as he goes. He's just passing him one after another, Tim Seabold, and now he stretched his lead over the number 10 of Rinker.
Yes, he did. He stretched it out a little.
3rd place right now belonging to Brian Vinton out of Canada. He's in the red and silver 17. 4th place, the number 38 with the American flag on it. That's Shepard, Jeff Shepard. 4th place right now is Fairchild in that 62.
He seems like he's just flattened out a little, Chris Fairchild has. Normally he's more competitive than this. I don't know, I think something happened to his engine or fuel pump or something. He just doesn't be as snappy as he normally is.
Jose Madonna in the 21st position, about to be lapped by Tim Seabold, who's in 1st place. He's actually in the 6th position, I should say, Jose Madonna in that 21 boat. He's trying to hold off that pass by the leader, who's, again, narrowly.
Wow, that was close. That was close.
In between 2 boats going into that corner was Tim Seabold. That had to bring a little sweat to some of those guys in those boats. That was awfully close. He is now going to lap Jose Madonna on the front stretch as they pass the flag stand. 2nd place still belonging to Terry Rinker in the yellow number 10. third place, Brian Vinton in the 17th. Fourth place is at Jeff Shepard, number 38, the red boat, and the number 62 for Fairchild in fifth.
Remember what I told you now, Ed, everybody that he laps, next guy gets a little harder. So he's up behind Fairchild now, and and here comes Rinker. Rinker might have closed up a little on him from that.
Did close up a little bit on that last lap. We're at Lake Lucas. Glad you could join us for this 30-lap shootout here in the North American Championship for the US F1 boats. And I'm telling you, these tunnel boats are flying around this course. One particular boat for sure, and that Tim Siebold in the 16, he's lapping them all. Well, he'd like to anyway. He's still got at least 4 more to go before he can do that. He's on the tail now of 5th place driver, number 62, Fairchild, and he's wanting to lap him in the next lap, and probably will. As they head down the front stretch, he looks like he's going to put the pass on the inside.
Yes, he moved on the inside. He went from outside to inside, and he's got good boat speed. He had a little bit of speed on Chris, and Chris gave him the hole to go through. So
now just 3 remaining boats in front of our leader that have not been lapped. He is tearing it up. He's been tearing it up all weekend. Won the match race, sponsored by Marine Max. Picked up the cash there. Won most of the heats he was in, all of the heats he was in. And here he is in the final with a huge lead over second place, Terry Rinker in that yellow number 10.
They seem to be holding about the same distance now, Tim and Terry. So, Tim just went over.
Shoot.
Tim just went over.
Tim Siebold
They didn't go over, but it rolled up on its side, and he's out.
I think he lost not part of the boat there, the hatch.
Yeah, the rear fairing came off, but Tim stood it up on its side down there, and the engine stopped.
Well, that would be.
So he's setting dead in the water down there. What a bad break.
Just off of the race course enough that we don't go under a yellow, and of course.
There it is, the red flare. Stop the race.
The red flare does stop the race now. We do have equipment out in the middle of the course. That fairing laying out there, a little close to the raceway.
If Tim can get that boat restarted, he's allowed to restart the race, but he will have to go to the back of the pack.
On the same lap there, Bill?
He would be on the same lap, and he would be at the back of the pack. So if he can get it started, and he has 5 minutes to do that.
Well, if that's the case, that surely would make the end of this race very, very interesting. We hope you're enjoying the broadcast here on Lake TV. We're at Lucas Lake at Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more.
He's running, Ed.
He is running. We do know his engine's running. We'll be taking a break. We'll come back after they get this mess cleaned up with more action from Lake Lucas. Lake Lucas is the place to be. We're at Lake Lucas, which is located at Lucas Oil Speedway, back behind their dirt track, a facility that was built just here recently in the last couple of years. And we're here for one particular reason. That's for the final today in the Formula One. It's the North American Championship points that will be handed out. The first points of the season handed out here at Lake Lucas. And we were under a black flag there for a few moments. What happened was Tim Siebold, who was our leader and leading by a lot, been the hardest and fastest driver to beat this weekend. And here his canopy come off. Bill, what do you think happened there?
He put it up on its side down there. Actually, I said he went over. I thought he barrel rolled the boat all the way over, but it didn't. It went up on its side and it fell back down right side up. Now, when that happens, the rear fairing, which is about 7.5 or 8 feet long, and it only weighs about 20 pounds, and it's only held on by bungee cords, came off. And technically, that has the number on it, and if you're racing without a number, you get disqualified. So I don't know what caused him to go on the side. Maybe he was cut off in a turn a little, pushed a little hard. I don't know.
And now he was able to get that refired. That's good news for Tim Siebold. We'll see how it performs after that. I believe they've got the fairing back on the boat, and the boats are lined up against the shore once again. I don't know. He will usually get to start on that the same lap with those drivers again. He was in the lead.
He was in the lead.
And by a long ways.
And I'm not sure what they're doing on the ruling. I'm not sure what caused the incident. So you really can't make a judgment on the ruling until you know what caused the incident.
And again, we're waiting for the restart to this event. We already have several laps in, about half to go probably. This is a 30-lap race. And the winner is going to get the most points going into the short season, if you will, in US F1 Powerboat Racing.
Yes, and every race is crucial. Now it looks like they're tying. I'm not sure what they're doing. They're towing the boat out of the starting lineup.
Now,
So I don't know what that is going to mean. Obviously, if the boat was runnable, he would just start it and run to the back of the pack and start at the end of the line. So I'm not sure what's going on. Without official radio, it's hard for us to guess on that, Ed.
very disappointing though for Tim, who all weekend long showed plenty of strength in that NGK spark plug sponsored boat, just always up in front. In fact, he looked like he was on cruise control in this race. It was just outstanding. He was lapping everybody. Only had 3 boats left to really lap. Had 3 tough boats, granted, but we're going to see a restart here in a few moments, and it may be sans Tim Seabold in that 16. Again, he's being towed. Not sure what the reason is there. Obviously, if he could have got it started, he could have driven it right to where they're going. We'll hope that he'll get to finish the race, but we'll keep an eye on it for you and keep you updated. And as soon as we know something, we'll let you know. That would put Terry Rinker back in the first position, though, as he was in second spot. And Terry has basically owned these races for years and years now. So to see Tim Seabold out there just running all over the place, something either has happened to Terry or Tim's found something.
Well, one of the two. Like I said, there hasn't been a boat on the race course any faster than Terry for the last 6 or 7 years. Terry's done his homework. He does a lot of testing. He has a private lake to test on, and he tests on starts. He tests on top end setups for qualifying. It's a well-rounded program for him.
Well, Terry Rinker is in the yellow number 10. He was last year's points champion, the 2012 season anyway, in the U.S. F1 Powerboats in North America, and looks like he may, get the first big points of the season if he completes, if he stays in the position he was in when we went into that short little wreck there. And I don't really want to call it a wreck, but that's really what it was.
Well, it was. Tim stood the boat up on the side, and it could have went all the way over. And you know what? Those things happen so quickly. It may have did a barrel roll and landed right side up. It's really hard to tell. The only way we can tell that probably is go back and look at the footage from that camera and that in that turn 1 and 2 area.
It was certainly very close to where the fans are sitting. They've got an eye full there. Fans have turned out for this first event. We hope to see it an annual event here at Lucas Lake.
There they go.
And
they're off.
The restart is good, and it's the number 10 Rinker with a hole shot. He will be your leader as they head down the front stretch, followed by Brian Vinton out of Canada in that 17, and that's Jeff Shepard in the 38 in third position.
Fairchild didn't start, so he's way back. So he's out of the loop. Rinker's in the lead. Brian Vinton second. Jeff Shepard third. And Mark Welch fourth.
Mark Welch.
Guys, that's going to be wonderful, Mark Welch, because he's an independent team, and he does all the work on his team himself. He and his son, Tyler.
Tyler, in fact, is in 7th position right now, and who would have thought he would have been there after flipping his boat in testing just the other day. Now look at that there in the yellow, the green number 27. That is Carlos Mandana. He's showing some strength there in 5th place.
He sure is.
Again, your leader, the number 10. That's Terry Rinker in the yellow, number 10, followed by the 17, the 38, and 95. 5th place, again, is Carlos Mandana. This is his first season in the Formula F1. 72 of
Len Simberger.
And he is in 6th place.
Jose Madonna right inside of Lenny. And looks like Jose is going to take the position away from Len. And Chris Fairchild's coming up. He did not start. He was the last boat off the beach. He's got a lot of ground to make up.
He's already passed 3 boats and now has passed his 4th boat as he gets by Len Simberger. Your leader, though, the number 10, he's in lap traffic now, having to deal with that same thing. Very good race for 2nd and 3rd there. We'll see if that stays. Well, it could be kosher, but the 17's got a good jump right now on 30 out of that corner. That is Jeff Shepard in the 38. The American flag draped across the front of the boat. Pretty boat. Tim Seabold did not make the restart. We assume that his boat was not ready to get out there and run with these boys, at least at speeds that he would like it to.
Well, it's a shame because it was going to be a good race at the end between Terry and Tim. They were both running very well. And we heard Brian Vinton on that opening ceremony over there when they introduced the drivers to the crowd that he's got a new boat, and he sure looks a lot more solid in that boat this heat than he did in the qualifying heats. Qualifying heats, he was having some handling problems, but now he's got that boat laid out, the balance is done right on it, and it looks good.
I don't know if you saw that, Bill, but Mr. Shepard there lost a lot of ground on that 17. He almost took a tumble there going into that far corner there in front of the stands. Boat went inside on him, got on its side a little bit, came back out, so he lost a lot of ground on the 17. In fact, he's going to be looking at in his rearview mirror at Mark Welch, who's in the 95 in 4th position. He's on the same straightaway now and trying to chase him down.
Well, Mark Welch is running very good for Mark Welch because, like I said, he does all the work on that whole team himself, he and his son Tyler. And there's Tyler coming by in the green boat after blowing over backwards yesterday. It's amazing that the boat is back on the water, and Tyler wanted to get back in the boat and get some more seat time in it.
All right, your top 5 again, the number 10, followed by the 17, the 38, the 95, and then if I'm not mistaken, we've got that 27 back here of Carlos Mendana.
And Lynn Simberger just went by on 5 cylinders, so that's not a good sign. There's 17. I told you, Brian's got that boat running good now. He's holding his own with Terry. Terry's got a quarter of a lap or a quarter of a straightaway on him. But again, that's a brand new boat for Brian for him to get used to.
Right now, there's no challenges on the course for position, though. We're starting to see a challenge. Fairchild on Jose Mendana in the 21. That for position, though, but it's way back in the pack. But still, always fun to race against a competitor for position.
Well, it is. And you know, for the first race here, this one's got him a little strung out, but Terry's been running awful strong all week. And that was obvious when he and Tim both won all 3 of their qualification heats, even starting dead last on the dock. And like I said, Terry has been the strongest boat on the water for the last 5 or 6 or 7 years. It's always tough to beat. He comes from a boat racing family. His Uncle John started Rinker Boats many years ago, and they built thousands and thousands of boats up in northern Indiana.
Well, it looks like Fairchild got around Jose Mendana. Now he sets a sight on Carlos Mendana in 5th place. Your leader, the number 10, that is Rinker in the yellow number 10, followed by the 17, the red boat, the red and silver boat. That's Brian Vinton out of Canada. Then the American flag draped across the red, number 38 of Jeff Shepard in 3rd place. 4th place is Mark Shepard. And 5th place right now is the 27 of Carlos Mendana. And he is being hounded now by Fairchild in that 62, white 62 boat. He finished 2nd in the championship points last season. You know he knows what he's doing, and it looks like he's gaining ground ever a little so slowly, but he's doing it on that number 27 boat.
Yes, he is. Chris is always top runner, and he's a hard worker. And again, he's like Mark Welch. He does all his own work. Chris is a expert Mercury mechanic and does all his own work, engine rebuilding and everything. And look who's coming up behind him to lap all 3 of those boats. The 10 boat of Terry Rinker. He's really got his sights set on those guys right now. He's looking at Jose Mendana, and looks like he's closing up on it too.
I was watching the number 17 boat there, Brian Vinton, being chased by the 38 of Jeff Shepard. Jeff has been catching him slowly as well.
There he goes, Chris Fairchild. Just got Carlos Mendana.
Moving into the 5th position now is Fairchild in that 62.
You're looking at a lot of experience versus the first year in Formula One, and that makes a big difference when it comes to running in traffic. It's like threading a needle. You know, you got to be in the right place at the right time, and you got to drive through holes sometime, and we saw Tim Siegel do that earlier, that you don't necessarily want to go to.
Well, we hope you're enjoying the Formula One final here at Lucas Oil Speedway at Lake Lucas. It's been an exciting weekend for sure. Your leader, the number 10 and the yellow number 10, and that is Terry Rinker. He's got a huge lead now over the 17 of Brian Vinton, followed by Jeff Shepard in that 38, who's been trying to catch up with Vinton for quite a while now. 4th place has belonged, in fact, almost since the very beginning of the race to Mark Welch.
Mark Welch. But now he's going to have a challenger coming up. I don't know how many laps we've got left here, but Chris Fairchild's closing in on Mark. And if he's got more than 4 or 5 laps left, he will get him as he's closing the door quickly.
Watching the race now at 4th place there. That is Mark Welch with Fairchild on the 62 trying to catch him because every little point counts in this kind of series. And of course, I think there's only 5, maybe 6 races in the entire year for this US F1 Powerboats.
Well, this year there's 6 races. So
6 races.
Yes, it's going to be, every point counts. You're absolutely correct on that, Ed.
He's caught him a little bit. Fairchild is on the back there. Mark Welch. We're just about 4 boat lengths between them now.
Oh yeah, I think Chris Fairchild's got a little speed on him, so it's going to be close down here. He's not going to get him quite on this turn yet, but I think coming up this front straightaway, and Chris grabbed the inside, and that's a big advantage.
That's for 4th place.
That's for 4th place right here, neck and neck. Mark's holding him off so far on that straightaway.
But he also went to the outside line, giving the inside lane to Fairchild, and that should make a difference coming down this front stretch.
Well, that could be the difference between a fiberglass boat or a composite boat and a wood boat. Chris Fairchild's boat is made out of composites, a little stronger. So any kind of little love tap that he might happen to give Mark would put a big hole in Mark's boat.
Okay, getting your top 5, the number 10, followed by the 17, the red 38. Then now we have a new 4th position, or new 4th place holder, and that is the 62, the Mercury Racing boat, with Fairchild at the helm, followed by Mark Welch, the 95.
It's over. Checkered flag
Checkered flag is out, and Rinker takes the checkered flag, finishing 1st, followed by the 17 of Brian Vinton, the 38 of Jeff Shepard. 4th place goes to Fairchild, and coming across 5th right now, that is Mark Welch in the 95. Exciting racing here at Lake Lucas at Lucas Oil Speedway. It's been an exciting weekend. That's about going to wrap it up for the boat racing. We've got an awards ceremony coming up in a few moments. We hope you've enjoyed the broadcast on Lake TV. Don't forget to check out the website, mylaketv.com. We'll be back with more, wrap things up right after this.